What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to have a very quick video. We are going to be unboxing our mystery tackle box for the month of July. I mentioned it in my June slam, but I kind of forgot that I never really recorded an unboxing. And I really try to make a point to do those. It kind of helps that they get a lot of views, but the main reason is just so you guys know what I'm fishing with when I go out. For the slam videos, because I usually don't make a dedicated, I guess, intro with what I'm throwing. So just kind of having the unboxing to kind of lean back on and kind of see what I'm throwing, I think is kind of important to have. So here we are. Also, I've got the fan running off here to the right. I don't even know what's in frame, if you guys can see that or not. It shouldn't really affect the sound too much, but I just wanted to let you know, just in case it does. I did check out what was inside the box before I got here. They have that option now. But I did it, I don't know, 2 days after it shipped, so I don't really remember. The only thing I remember is that there's like a fluke style bait. And I think just some EWG hooks to go kind of with it. But otherwise, I don't really remember. And they're actually right on the top here. So first is we've got a 4-inch Kalin's Jerk Minnow, and it's the junior style, which makes sense. It's a little smaller. Looks like it's just called bait fish color. Looks like it's black on the top with just some multicolored flake in there, some green, some black, and just like a pearl white on the bottom. And we've got some Spear Point 3/0 EWGs. Actually, hold that thought. It's actually a double size pack, so it's gonna be tough to see, but you guys can see right here, right under my middle finger. It says, so you've got one 3/0 and one 4/0 in there, which is actually very nice considering, especially with these mystery tackle boxes where you don't know exactly what you're going to be throwing. It's nice that they throw like a multi-pack in there because you don't exactly know what soft plastic you're going to be throwing. So it's nice to have the multiple hook sizes there. I think a 3/0 will probably go pretty good with the Kalins. I'm actually downsized to a 2/0. But those are the first couple ones. I'm not a huge fluke guy, but when I have thrown it, I've had success. It's just there's a lot of different things I just confidence-wise will throw before. But like I said, I've caught them on fluke before, so I'm not overly concerned about that as far as a slam goes. Next, we've got a Castayak. And I actually remember this brand because I still don't know how to pronounce it. I'm going to go... I wish there was... You know what would actually be really nice if they had another T right there between the A and the I. So that way it would be Cast-tastic. Would it be Oh, you need another S. Never mind. Called a Mana Crank. It's like a little micro 5/16 ounce little diver crankbait. And looks like a really bright color, like a chartreuse blue. I don't know if it has... Oh. You guys can see right above the barcode, we got chartreuse blue. That's the best way to name a color, is exactly what it is. You don't have to get too creative with the names. I'm not worried about this at all. I actually think I have one of these from an old box in my tackle trays out there already. So also if we lose it, not a big deal. But you guys have seen this at some point, and I recorded a few videos one right after another, so I don't remember exactly where it ended up in the order. But the video that I filmed where my buddy and I went 1v1 fishing, where he was in Southern Maine and I was up here, I went to a spot that was a little offshore. It was probably in about 10-ish feet of water, and the bait was busting, and you know, we had bass and pickerel, or not pickerel, bass and pike chasing the bait fish to the surface. I've been throwing a ton of crankbaits over there, and I've caught pretty much anything over there. I've caught crappie, I've caught yellow perch, I've caught whites, a pike here and there, and some good smallmouth. I don't think I've caught a largemouth on a crankbait yet, but needless to say, even though it's a shallow diver, these bass and these pike are up in shallower water. They're up higher in the water column chasing these bait to the surface. So I think we can probably head right over there and knock this out really quickly. So looking forward to that. And I think actually the bright color is going to do us some good. We're starting to get some pollen. I don't know if it's pollen or maybe the start of an algae bloom. We're starting to get that on the surface, so we're starting to lose visibility in the pond. It was really good, and it's starting to back off, so I actually think the brighter color is going to do us some good, especially if we can get out there on a cloudy day. After that, we've got a Googan Squad swim jig called the Grass Hero. Smaller variety, 1/4 ounce, which isn't too bad, especially where I'd probably be throwing this in pretty shallow water, so that lighter configuration isn't too bad. Looks like we got a bluegill color. Size 4/0 hook on there. You guys, I'm sure, have seen all this stuff before. The Googan Squad obviously are very well known at this point. Swim jigs are another thing that I don't throw a ton, simply just because of my style of fishing. Up in my pond up here, there's a ton of, I would say the size is on average bigger, and a lot of aggressive fish like the pike and the big smallmouth. So if I want to throw like a bait fish swimming jig type bait, I'm almost always going to throw a spinner bait. I'm not usually worried about that bigger presentation kind of scaring the fish away. But same thing with the fluke. I've gotten some swim jigs in boxes, in mystery tackle boxes in the past. So I've thrown them before and I've had success on them before, so I'm really not worried about this either. We'll throw a little paddle tail swim bait on there, trim the weed guard back there a little bit, and I really don't think we're going to have a lot of problems. There's a lot of grass lines out here, a lot of pads that are starting to develop and grow a little bit. And at the end of the day, if we can get out there, I mean, really any time of the day, early morning, midday, mid-morning, these fish are going to be under docks, and if I can just swim this slowly along the docks, I don't think they're going to say no to it. So another bait I'm not worried about really for this slam. And last, and probably not least, is one of the new 10,000 fish baits. It's called either, and this is going to be another pronunciation, it's either the Zuchi bug or the Zuki bug. I don't know how they want you to pronounce it. But it's basically a creature bait with pretty much every appendage you could possibly have on there. You've got like these super wide wings up on the top. You've got kind of the cross style wide legs at the bottom, and you also have the kind of thin tail that runs through the middle, and it kind of, you get a little diagram of that on the back. But it's a bigger 5-inch style bait. I'll throw it with a bigger Texas rig, maybe one of those black and blue slither rigs that I've shown you guys a bunch this spring. And I really don't think it's going to be much of a problem either. I'll post some pictures up here somewhere in the frame, but my cousin and I went out the other day just flipping docks, and almost back-to-back docks. He caught about a 4.5. I caught a 4.10, and then right after, almost on the next dock, I caught a 5.3. So so there's definitely some size over in that piece that we were flipping the docks. So I'll probably head over there with a bigger Texas rig setup and try to knock this out. So that's it for the box. I actually think we have a really well-rounded setup. And what I mean by that, kind of in this context, is we've got a ton of baits that work well in different scenarios. Like I'm looking at these baits now, and I don't think there's one spot. There's not a single spot on the pond where I think I could really confidently say that I could knock out all of these baits. I can think of at least a spot or two for each of them, but I don't think I'd be able to go to one spot and knock them all out one right after another. Which is honestly really cool, because I mentioned it in the last video, as of recording this, exploring the pond, is I want to do just that. I want to explore the pond. So kind of having these baits with different styles, and at least different areas where they're more effective, I think that's going to be a lot of fun. The Zuki bug, I think we can either flip some docks or maybe find a grass line with a big Texas rig. That'll be pretty easy. Cast a crankbait. If we can get out into that 10-ish feet of water where the bass and the pike were pushing bait to the surface, I think this will be pretty quick. We'll knock that out. We'll catch a bunch of perch on it because it's a smaller crankbait, but we can pick through them and we can catch a decent bass as well. I'm not worried about that at all. The fluke is definitely going to... Actually, you know what? I take that back. The fluke and the swim jig are both going to be grass line baits. But there's plenty of different weed beds along the pond, so if I'm really feeling up to it, I can go to a different spot for each one of these baits. I can just throw the fluke in one weed bed, catch something, and go to another weed bed and throw the swim jig. But at the end of the day, as far as confidence goes, I'm feeling pretty good about it. And I may even be able to, I'll check to see how it looks together, but I may even be able to combine the swim jig and the fluke. You don't get a ton of action like you would a paddle tail, but it may look alright, and it may actually provide like a subtler action. And then I could combine the 4-aught spear point with the Zuki bug. And that way we only have to catch 3 fish as opposed to 5. But honestly, I really don't think it's going to be much of a challenge. I think we'll probably try to throw them as individually as we can. I think that's part of the challenge of getting these mystery tackle boxes. But like I mentioned, I wanted to just wrap this up and do a really quick video for you guys and get this out so you can kind of watch the unboxing before I do the slam. With that, I guess I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. Later.